Welcome back to Meg's Mysteries. I hope you had a happy new year. This story is called No Connections. 11 murders. What's the connection? Their ages ran from young to old. The cause of death, different every time. What's the connection? They were men, women, and of all ages. The time of death, different. From early morning to some late at night. The only connection is it happening in my city, my town, and my case. My name is Detective Sergeant Daniel Flannery, and my whole team of highly skilled detectives are at our wits' end, trying to connect the dots and solve all these murders before more are added to the victims list. This case is truly a murder mystery, and we are running out of time to get this killer or killers. The murder started 3 years ago. 10 victims so far. And we're no closer to finding the murder or murderers, or how, why, and the big question is who. These murders take place all around the city, from the upper class neighborhoods to the homeless. The only thing in common on each victim is a stamp left on the left hand of a 4-leaf clover, the sign of luck, but in these cases, not so lucky for the victims. And we still can't find the source of the stamp or the ink used. Maybe it's a homemade stamp and we'll never trace it. The case has gone cold until now with the latest victim. We just found a young girl home from college. She was found dead coming home from a friend's house. Her body was found in an alley a block away from the friend's apartment. A lady walking the dog spotted her and called it in. The cause of death was a blunt instrument to the head. She died instantly. In her left hand, on the back of it, was a 4-leaf clover, a stamp, just like the other 10 murders. This was not publicized for public knowledge, so it must be the same killer. So it's up to 11 victims now. So the case is open again and on my desk. The whole city is on edge, as it should be. There's no logic to it. It seems so random, the cause of death, each victim's, and the why. Then a breakthrough a week later. The killer left a note at the front desk. No one saw him or who delivered it. It said, "Dear detectives, looks like you'll never catch me without my help. So much for New York's best on a case. It's been 3 years and you still don't have a clue. So I'll give you one. The next victim will be one of your own. Yes, I've been following you all very closely, so now it's your turn to find me before I find you. Sincerely, Lucky Charms." A stamp of a 4-leaf clover under the signature. He could be talking about any one of us or any of the officers in our station. I told my partner, Kevin Pollock, this is one nutcase. He or she is coming after us. Kevin said, maybe he has nothing to lose. He thinks we can't get him or her. We just don't know, but it's most likely a man. Women don't usually get so physical with any method of killing. So we're on the case night and day. A month goes by, but no more murders, no contact from the killer. Then a registered letter was on my desk for me. No one knows who put it there or who signed for it when it was put down. It was signed with a name we didn't recognize. On the envelope under my name it said, "For your eyes only. Dear Detective Flannery, I'm so sorry we couldn't meet in person. I was so looking forward to it. Yes, you were picked from the hat. You are to be my next and final victim. A nice dozen victims. As you can see, my time was up before I got to you. If you're reading this, I'm no longer a threat to you or to anyone. So my career as a serial killer has come to a close, and so my secret of who, why, and how can come to the grave with me. Or I can be kind and tell you it all. Maybe God will be less judgmental if I tell you, and you can close the cases and give the family closures. I know just where I'm heading, and it's not a heavenly cloud, but a hotter place. So here it is. Who? I didn't have a type. Men, women, old, young, it didn't matter to me. How? Whatever I had on hand. A knife, a gun, a rope, etc. Why? Because I could. I knew you'd never find me. How I did it and why? Well, on the computer these days, everyone has one. And you are on YouTube, social media. I could spy on anyone I wanted to. I found out I can hack onto their cameras on the computers so I can get a good look at each victim or find them and their pictures on social media. People put everything, their personal information, for the whole world to see. They're so stupid putting it all out. Pictures and what they eat and where they go at all times. It's so easy to follow them and know their schedule. I had a pick of many victims. Some I even made appointments to meet, and then I just killed them. The last one was I followed a girl. I knew where she was going from her blog post. Party at Lily's, time and place. So I followed her from her home to the party. Then I waited till she walked home alone. It was so easy. I just stopped her and asked her for the time. And when she turned around to leave, I hit her and dragged her body into the alley. I stamped my logo, and then I left her for you all to find. So there you have it, but it's too late. The old ticker gave out just before I met you. My last victim. I thought I had at least some more time, but as the doctor told me 3 years ago, I lived with a time bomb inside of me. Bad heart all those years with bad living, overweight, and smoking. I never changed my lifestyle like he told me to. He was my first victim. I didn't take getting that bad news too well, and he had to go. I guess I just cracked and just wanted someone else to suffer. So I picked at random many people to murder. Just profiled all the victims and the careless ones. I had a large assortment to choose from. People are not too smart these days, too trusting, and I was smarter. You were the next, so I think it was a little fitting that I tell you my side. I'm writing this from my deathbed in the hospital, so you won't be able to put me away. I'm 6 feet under by now, and my just punishment from higher or lower being, well, we'll see. Well, this goodbye for now. Signed, Lucky Charms. Not so lucky anymore. I read it out to everyone in the station. We did track the killer down from the first victim, the doctor, that was murdered. We found the patient's name and when he went to him 3 years ago. They didn't want to tell us any information, but because of the doctor's murder, they wanted to help. And also the latest obituary articles helped. The killer was George Albert, who died last week. Just an average guy in his 50s, no family, ordinary job, just a normal guy no one would ever notice. My letter was mailed after his death from a coworker who knew nothing about the murders or that his friend was a killer. He just did it as a favor to a dying friend. I guess the killer had nothing to lose. He just did it for the fun or because he was so angry being so close to death that he didn't care. Maybe he just wanted to be remembered for once, and he was, as a serial killer. I was the lucky one so close to death. I never believed in it, luck, but now I do. The fellows now call me Lucky Flannery, a nickname my partner dubbed me, but I'm okay with that. So the no connection murders are now connected. Case closed, just by luck. Hope you enjoyed this story. Come back for more on Meg's Mysteries. Until next time, enjoy your evening.